Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to MiM Monday. I'm your host, Nick Lazaga, and it's time to make Monday magical. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're watching live, be sure to chime in the chat. Let's talk about the Disney news together. And if you're watching this as a playback on Instagram Reels or on YouTube, then show me your thoughts in the comments. I'm really excited for what we have to talk about today. So, yeah, thanks so much for joining. Hey, everybody. So, a couple things right off the bat. I'm obviously not in the Mickey and Minutes podcast studio. I don't have my microphone or anything. So basically, I'm at my in-laws' house. We've been celebrating Labor Day today, day off of work. And I couldn't get home in time, but I had to still go live and do MiM Monday, Mickey and Minutes Live for you guys. So I'm here. I found a quiet spot in my in-laws' house and, still doing the show. So thanks so much for hanging out, you guys. This is MiM Monday. We have a lot to talk about. Obviously, D23, not the full expo, but Destination D23 was over the weekend, and we got lots of really, really cool announcements for the parks to talk about today. So yeah, that's why I had to get on here. And also, this is the new time for MiM Mondays, 8:30. Since we began, we've been doing them at 8 o'clock, but I decided it's probably better for everybody, just based on a couple of factors here and there, that we push the show to 8:30 from now on. So the new time block, 8:30, and let's get right to the Disney news. So, like I said, I am not in my studio, so I'm using my wife's phone for my notes, so bear with me as I open it up here. But yeah, I just had to do the show with you guys. So anyways, a couple things were announced here that affect us, parks fans, that I'm just super stoked to talk about. The first thing is Tron Ares overlay at Tron and the Magic Kingdom. So since the ride Tron opened in Shanghai first and then in the Magic Kingdom, the color scheme has been, blues and oranges, and it looks really cool, very futuristic, very awesome. But in promotion of the new movie, they're changing the colors to red and orange lights. And not only that, but instead of hearing the Tron music that we're used to hearing over at Tron Light Cycle Run, we're going to be hearing music from the new soundtrack, and that is by 9 Inch Nails. So, yeah, it looks like it's starting September 15th at the Magic Kingdom and September 16th in Shanghai, the overlay, that is. And I don't know what else this is going to entail. All I've really seen is the music change and the colors, so I'm not sure if any of the projections inside the building are going to change or not. But I imagine it's not that difficult to change those, right? So who knows? Maybe we'll get some show scenes from the movie. I know I've seen a video on social media from a while ago where, what's his name? Jared Leto was in Disney and Disney World riding Tron. Of course, he's the star of the new Tron Ares movie. So, I don't know. It looks pretty cool. The movie hits theaters on October 10th, so they're doing this in promotion of that movie. Not sure when the overlay is going to end, but it looks like I'm just going to miss it. So I'm going to be going to Walt Disney World the day after tomorrow, actually. Wednesday, I leave. So I'll be in the Magic Kingdom on the 4th, I guess. September 4th, I think. And so, I'm going to miss it by a few days, about 10 days, I guess. So, I don't know. I love classic Tron. I love the music of the Tron attraction at Magic Kingdom. So I don't feel like I'm missing much by missing this, but I'm curious. I'm curious to see how people like it. I've seen some people in comments and whatnot saying this would be a cool thing to do as like a Halloween overlay, because I guess the reds are kind of spooky. So who knows? Maybe it's an easy overlay to turn on, and they can continue doing it during Halloween season from now on. Maybe. I don't know anything about the movie, but I've seen the trailer. It looks like the Tron programs, I guess, enter the real world and stuff, so I don't know. But I don't know. Who knows? Maybe it could be a consistent overlay every Halloween season. Who knows? But this is pretty cool. So now we're getting to the story I really, really wanted to talk about, and that is a Walt Disney audio animatronic coming to the Magic Kingdom. So this was announced, of course, also at Destination D23. This was announced at the Creating the Happiest Place on Earth panel. And by the way, the Tron one was announced at the Walt Disney Studios showcase. So I know people were wondering if they were going to do any parks announcements because there weren't any official parks panels planned for the D23, Destination D23. And speculation was that they would announce stuff during other panels, and that's exactly what they did. So again, Walt Disney Audio Animatronic coming to Magic Kingdom at the Carousel of Progress. So Imagineer Chris Beatty, Beatty, I think it is. He revealed this, and it's going to be replacing that very first scene at the Carousel of Progress. So you know where they have like the logo that looks like a gear, and you hear the voiceover saying, "This show has had more performances than any other stage show in the history of American theater." Like that whole thing. That scene is going to be replaced now with Walt himself, and the outfit he's wearing in the concept art that they shared, it's like the blue cardigan and the white shirt, black tie, like brown pants, and that is what he's wearing in the Carousel of Progress like video from right around the 1964 World's Fair when he was like showcasing the technology and showing how it was created and stuff. So that's really cool. I'm guessing they're going to use audio from that video of Walt. So I think that's really cool. There's concept art, and it looks like he has a bunch of posters and things around him. It looks like some monorails and pictures of like the concept art for original Epcot, not Epcot the theme park, but Walt Disney's experimental prototype community of tomorrow. So this whole office space that he's in looks amazing. So clearly this is Walt in around 1964, 65. In the chat, I see our salute to Disney says, can't wait. Yeah, I cannot wait either. This is going to be really cool. I've seen the Walt Disney animatronic in Anaheim in person. I saw it a couple months ago, or when was that? A couple weeks ago, I guess. And I think it looks way better in person. I know a lot of people were saying a lot of negative things about it. How the likeness is not accurate and this and that. And I do agree with that. I think the face of the Walt Disney animatronic looks a little bigger, a little more full than Walt Disney's face seems to be. And a couple other things that just made it look wrong. I felt like his eyebrows looked a little more bushy than they are in person. Or I've never seen it in person, but in pictures. But here's the thing. This is going to be the 2.0 version of that Walt animatronic, right? This is the new version of it. So hopefully they've been able to take criticisms of the first iteration of the Walt Disney animatronic and fix those, make it better. So I'm thinking this is going to be a better version of what we got in Disneyland. So, but it's not just that. That's not the only thing that's coming to the Carousel of Progress. They're also going to be, changing the rest of the show. This is the part that makes me a little nervous. So, obviously, this is not the original version of the show. This actually came to Magic Kingdom in 1975 from Disneyland, right? The original one was in the 1964-65 World's Fair. And then it came over to Disneyland, and then it came over to Walt Disney World. And by that point, it had been changed a bunch, right? It even had a different theme song. If you guys don't remember, when it first came to the Magic Kingdom, it didn't have Great Big Beautiful Tomorrow. It had a song called Best Time of Your Life, also written by the Sherman Brothers. It was relatively recently that they brought back the Great Big Beautiful Tomorrow. And so according to the Disney Parks blog, they actually refer to the version at Magic Kingdom as a tribute to the original show already. So they don't feel like they're tied down to make it exactly the same as what we had. You can't change anything because it's already been changed several times over. But I am a little nervous. They did say that they're going, they're going to keep the heart of the attraction while bringing it to a new generation. So, I don't know. I know that the conversation that a lot of people have been having for years, allergies. The conversation that people have been having for years is it needs to be updated. It needs to be updated, right? That last scene is super outdated, blah, blah, blah. Well, I don't think that's what needs to be updated. And let me tell you why. When the attraction first opened at the 1964 World's Fair, it was sponsored by GE, General Electric, right? And it was to sell appliances, right? It was showing you, oh, your life could be so much better if you had, these appliances in your house, and look at technology and look how much better it's making your life and this and that. And it was a corporate sponsored thing trying to sell electronics and appliances. And that's not what the attraction is anymore, right? You don't go to Carousel of Progress because you need to buy a new stove, right? What it is now, it's a timestamp. It's a showcase. It's showing how the American family progresses over the years and how technology affects their growth. But they're not trying to sell you anything. So I don't think that the final scene needs to keep up with the times or become more relevant. I think actually they should bring that original scene a little further back into the past. I think that it should be a timestamp of a single decade, right? I think it should be from 1900 to 1999. Because if they tried to make the last scene, have the technology of today, then it will be outdated very, very soon. That's, the Tomorrowland problem, right? So they're not trying to sell us anything, so it doesn't really matter if they're showcasing the products or how technology has advanced. That's not the point, right? And I think putting Walt Disney at the beginning is showing that the Imagineers kind of understand that, right? That this is a Walt Disney legacy attraction. And the spirit of the attraction, it says, or the heart of the attraction, as it says, that they're going to keep, that is progress, right? That's moving forward. So I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know if they're going to hire entirely new voice actors, if they're just going to cut certain lines. I have no idea. But my vision for it, as if I have a say, right? My vision for it is that it's a timestamp, and it's a kind of a love letter to Walt's optimism, to Walt's optimistic view of the future, and that they don't get too crazy with anything else. So, I don't know. I guess we'll see what's going to happen. I know a lot of people are nervous. I'm a little nervous too, but, as the kids say, let them cook, right? Let's see what they come up with. They could probably have some pretty good ideas and, make it a good attraction. So, I at least think that the Walt figure in the beginning is going to be awesome. Like I said, it's going to be a 2.0 version of what we have at Disneyland. And just like the one in Disneyland, this is a collaboration with, the Walt Disney Family Museum. And they have a mission to celebrate the man behind the magic and inspire new generations. So there's a lot of people still, believe it or not, who look at Walt Disney as like a fake figurehead, like a Ronald McDonald or like a Colonel Sanders or something, and don't realize that Walt Disney was a real person. So this constant push by the company to, make people see that he was real, and I think the animatronic is doing a great job of getting people to feel like they're in the room with him. I think that's outstanding. Let me know your thoughts in the chat below. What do you think of the Carousel of Progress updates? Do you think they're going to ruin the attraction? Do you think they're actually going to make it better? Do you think the Walt animatronic is going to look better than the one we have at Disneyland? Let me know. And if you're watching this as a playback, then let me know in the comments down below. What are your thoughts on this? So, I don't know. It can go either way. And, I have faith. I think they can do a good job. The other big announcement that us Disney fans just went nuts over was the Cinderella Castle paint job, the color scheme. They're they're going to bring it back to the original colors. So they announced this at the Beyond the Spires, an insider look at Disney Castles panel at D23 this past weekend. And so they shared a rendering of how the new castle colors are going to look. And it looks like classic Magic Kingdom castle. It looks like how we expect the Magic Kingdom castle to look. And it's fantastic. You know, I think it's past due. You know, they colored or they painted the castle like these shades of pink and like bluish purple. Like right now, like the spires kind of look purpley in some lights, and I just, you know, I've gotten used to it, but I'm not a fan. You know, and they did that for the 50th, and we're pretty far removed from the 50th at this point, and I think it's about time that they're going back to the original colors. Our salute to Disney in the chat has said, I think they can do a good job. Just hope they will. Referring to Carousel of Progress, right? Yeah, and this, I agree with that. Our salute to Disney also said, so happy for the castle colors returning. Me too. So basically, they said that the new color scheme is going to be inspired by the original look of the castle. They said that it will feature grays, creams, blues, and touches of gold to enhance the castle's architecture. So one thing I do like about the current paint job of the castle, the pink castle, is I like how they use gold to accent like the trim of certain areas, and maybe they'll keep something like that. The concept art doesn't really show that too much, but they also said that this isn't the final draft. They're still working on it. So, but I think seeing these original colors, it looks beautiful. I mean, that's what we all grew up with, you know, and that's what most of us think about when we think of the castle. So, according to Disney Parks blog, they said that, excuse me, these colors were chosen to reflect the Florida sunshine in a way that makes the castle shimmer from every angle. So I think it always has. I mean, there comes a point when you look at the castle with the old paint job, and sometimes it looks a little washed out. But I think that's just, you know, the Florida sun will beat down on any paint and wash it out over time, and that's just a sign that they need to touch it up. So, but when it's freshly painted in the original color scheme, it looks fantastic, and I'm really happy about it. So, yeah, bravo Disney. I think Disney is listening to fans a little bit more. You know, I think they hear fans saying they want the old castle colors back. You know, I think they heard a lot of fans saying that Carousel of Progress needed help. I mean, even going back to other announcements they've made recently, like the Buzz Lightyear enhancements that are coming, and, you know, Big Thunder getting some TLC. Like, I think they're listening to the fans, and they're throwing money into the parks, and they're enhancing things. You know, now whether or not you think some of these things are enhancements or downgrades, you know, that's subjective, right? But the fact is that they're actually putting money into the parks, and I think that's a beautiful thing. I think that's really great. And speaking of putting money into the parks, we got some details about Villains Land. So they had a panel called Disney Villains Icons of Evil at D23. Hey, thanks for joining. Welcome in. Disney Villains Icons of Evil. That was a panel at D23, and they gave some detail about the architectural inspiration for the new Disney Villains themed land. And one of the things that they announced about this is that former animator Andreas Deja, he's a Disney legend, guys. This dude is classic Disney. He's going to be a consultant on this, and so he's known for bringing a lot of Disney villains to life. So he worked on Gaston in Beauty and the Beast, Jafar in Aladdin, Scar in The Lion King. And so, you know, I can't think of a better consultant to work on a villains themed land for the Magic Kingdom. And so they went on a trip, you know, the Imagineers and everyone involved in this project, well, in this phase of the project, I guess, went on a trip to Paris, France, and Barcelona, Spain, to learn about the city's architecture. And I just love hearing when they do this. I know that when they were making Tiana's Bayou Adventure, they took some trips to New Orleans. And I think that they do this probably more often than we realize it, where they take research trips to places that inspire the attractions. And I think that's so cool. And I think it really brings that realism to the parks. Because obviously these are theme parks, and, we expect a certain sense of whimsy and, imagination and magic to them, but having them kind of grounded in reality is what really brings them to life, right? And so the fact that they went through to these tours of these places to look at architecture from real places means that this is going to have like this feel. It's going to feel more real. So they specifically, according to the Disney Parks blog, studied Art Nouveau architecture design and the unique form, scale, and color that defines this style, which flourished in the late 1800s. Through partnerships with local professors, along with art and architectural historians, Imagineers received an intimate look at the architectural aesthetics that serve as the overall design inspiration for the land. That was a quote from the Disney Parks blog. And so we got to see some pictures that they took of architecture and some concept art for the land. And it's so cool. They also shared some pictures of Disney villains and how those villains are inspiring the architectural choices, and like some side-by-side images. Go on Disney Parks blog and look at some of these pictures they posted in this article. And it just looks great. It really makes me even more excited for this Villains Land. Because, there's a part of you that, might think, oh, they're doing a Villains Land. It's just going to be like very cartoony and, but I think drawing inspiration and making it a cohesive land. And that's the word, cohesive. I think one thing I was kind of worried about before is that there would be like a Maleficent section and an Ursula section and a Cruella section, and it would be like disconjointed. I think the fact that they're looking at all this architecture and seeing how they could bring it together makes me confident that's going to be one cohesive land. And, I don't know much about the backstory. I'm thinking it has something to do with the villains being kind of trapped in this area of the park. I don't know. That makes me think of the Kingdom Keepers. I know I've mentioned that book series on the show before because I like the book series. I like the Kingdom Keepers. If you don't know, that's a book series, a young adult book series about these kids that have to battle the Disney villains in the Magic Kingdom and all over Walt Disney World and Disney parks around the world as the books progressed. Spoiler alert. But yeah, so the villains were kind of in the park, and they were sabotaging the park and trying to take over the Disney parks, and these kids had to stop them. And this kind of reminds me of that. It also reminds me of Sorcerers of the Magic Kingdom, which was that old game that used to be in the Magic Kingdom where you had these cards and you would shine them on the walls and you would defeat different Disney villains with magic. Excuse me. And that was always really cool. But one thing that I remember, when they announced Villains Land at D23 Expo, they talked about which villains were going to have a presence there. And in doing so, they showed images of those villains that were taken from Lorcana cards. So if you play Lorcana, you know what I'm talking about. But if you don't, Lorcana is a trading card game, a Disney trading card game, where they have original artwork for all the characters. And the artwork that they showed at T23 was Lorcana art. Now, they didn't say anything about Lorcana, but all of us Lorcana fans gasped, being like, that's Lorcana. Like, that meme of Leonardo DiCaprio, like, pointing at the screen? Like, that's how we all felt when they were showing that, all the Lorcana images. So I'm wondering if there's going to be any tie into Lorcana. I know they're starting to bring Lorcana a little bit more into the parks, having events in Disneyland and stuff. So I'm wondering if later down the road, there's going to be like Villains Land specific cards and maybe even some sets, some Lorcana sets that are Villains Land. Maybe even the story of Lorcana will have something to do with the story of Villains Land. Now I'm going a little overboard, I know. My brain is just like thinking, oh, this could be so cool. Like, what if, excuse me, what if Villains Land has something to do with these characters, the versions of the characters from Lorcana? Oh my goodness, that's very cool. That's very cool. Probably not going to happen, but still very, very cool. If you're a Lorcana player, let me know in the chat or in the comments of this video. Let me know. And if you're excited for Villains Land, and if you want to see a Lorcana tie-in to Villains Land, let me know, because I think that'd be awesome. So, yeah. One more thing I want to talk about here on this episode of MiM Monday is that also at Destination D, during the Creating the Happiest Place on Earth panel, they announced a new documentary called Disney Handcrafted. And it's coming this winter to Disney Plus, and it looks fantastic. I mean, we've seen a ton of documentaries and videos of the creation of Disneyland over the years, you know, to the point where it might seem a little redundant. But what I'm really excited about for this, it's being created by Leslie Iwerks, which, if you don't know, she's the granddaughter of Disney legend Ub Iwerks, who, of course, was the co-creator of Mickey Mouse. He's the one who created the multi-plane camera for the Disney Studios, and just a Disney legend. So yeah, this Leslie Iwerks is the creator of this film, the granddaughter of him. So she has a lot of access, right? A lot of access to things that normal filmmakers don't have. So she was able to go into the Disney archives and pull out footage, film that has never been seen before. Like, I don't have that whole article in front of me, but the Disney Parks blog says, as a description of the film, it says, capturing the excitement of the creation of Disneyland as it was being built more than 70 years ago. You'll get a chance to peek behind the orange groves and experience the making of the park like never before in Disneyland Handcrafted. So when I was reading through the article, it was saying that she had access to like these just old film reels of footage from the creation of Disney, and footage that was shot for other programs like the Disneyland TV show that was never used. So I think it's so cool. We're going to see video of the formation of Disneyland that we've never seen before. I mean, that's incredible. So if you're a big Disney parks nut like I am, then you're probably just as stoked to see all this footage. So yeah, coming on Disney Plus. I went to the D23 Expo back in 2015, and I saw a Disneyland panel that was being moderated by Leslie Iwerks, and it's just so cool. She's very knowledgeable. At that time, she was promoting the Imagineering story that came out on Disney Plus. She created that one too, and I just love that she's making another documentary about Disney parks. I think that's so fantastic. Hey, thanks for joining. So yeah, so that's those are the big pieces of news. Again, I'm not home, right? I'm at my in-laws' house. We were doing a big Labor Day, barbecue, whatever, and couldn't get home, but I still had to get online. I still had to deliver the news to you guys. And I just thank you guys for joining me on this Labor Day. And if you're watching this as a playback, then be sure to join every Monday on Instagram at 8:30. If you can't join live, that's fine. You can watch it on YouTube. But yeah, we do this every week. I'm really, really excited because I'm leaving for Disneyland, or Walt Disney World, actually, in 2 days. 2 days. So I'll be staying at Art of Animation, and we'll be at Magic Kingdom one day, Studios another day, and Epcot another day. Don't have time for Animal Kingdom on this trip, but I'm really excited. So I wanted to say, if you see me in the parks, come say hi, and you will get a free Mickey and Minute sticker, or a few, because I have a lot. So yeah, please come and say hi, and get yourself some stickers. So yeah, I'm really excited. I'll be there soon, and I actually get back next Sunday, super, super late. And then obviously work that Monday after that. So I'm going to try really hard to do another MiM Monday after that. But if I have to cancel, that's why. I will just be exhausted because, Disney trips are fun, but they're definitely not restful. So, we'll see. Thank you in the chat saying enjoy the park days. I absolutely will. So thanks so much for joining me for another MiM Monday. Next time I will be back in the studio with the microphone and everything will be good again. As far as sound, I guess. I hope the sound was good for you guys. But yeah, I'm glad I was able to do this for you today. Please check out the podcast. If you don't know, I also do a podcast, a monthly podcast. It's on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. On that show, we talk about all sorts of Disney awesomeness. We do a lot of Disney history and other things on that show that I don't do here. This is the new show. That's the everything else show, pretty much. But yeah, so please check that out. And don't forget to like and subscribe on YouTube so you never miss another playback. And anything else that we post on YouTube. And don't forget to hit the bell notification to get notified every time I put up a new video there. So yeah, thanks so much for hanging out with me for another MiM Monday. Thanks for making Monday magical. I love you guys. I will see you next time. Bye. Hey, what's going on, everybody?